So, this piece is entitled How to Become a Digital Marketer. Very straightforward. And I believe digital marketing is the new it career. I believe many people are flocking to it. I believe it's very enticing for many. And I just want to master the process of having that if you're out there and you desire that. How do you become a digital marketer? If I can answer that question, I believe then I can give so much value to people. It's not easy to answer that. It's not easy just for me to write down everything I've done and say that's enough. Not everyone can take the same path. Not everyone have the same resources or support system. So we have to try and make it a bit more well-rounded. And that's the beginning of my next few months, is to really make sure that starting point for new marketers is really filled out, because, I teach intermediate stuff, right? And so I get a lot of questions after, like, how do I get my first client? How do I get started? What should I read? What should I learn? I don't always cover that at length because you can find that out there. A lot of people have touched on different basic beginner stuff. So let me begin this piece. What makes digital marketing such a good career? Why should you switch? I think we have to answer why. Okay. We have to understand why this is such a great career, why you want to become a digital marketer. And it's very simple. Becoming a digital marketer comes with many, many benefits that I don't see other careers having. Let's go over some of the key ones. Most digital marketers are working remotely. Okay. This is a big one for me, and I think it is for a lot of people. And that's the number one reason I chose to become a freelance digital marketer, was the ability to work from home, work from anywhere. I believe that's a special thing. I believe if you use that right, you can have a wonderful lifestyle. And I believe it's just to unlock to many different lifestyle choices. When you only need a laptop and an internet connection to earn an income, suddenly you have a lot of options. And that's the realization we need to have. That's the epiphany that needs to come into your mind, because you need to have conviction as you go down this career path. Okay. So you can work from home, you can work from a co-working space, you can work at a coffee shop. I think the point is it's massively flexible, and this is highly valuable. Okay. I think it's important to note that you shouldn't necessarily be constantly traveling, like this digital nomad idea, but you could if you wanted to. I just like the feeling of knowing that if I want to pick up and move, I probably could. I believe digital marketing is a future proof industry. The biggest concern people have these days is whether or not their work will become automated, obsolete, and replaced by artificial intelligence. Okay, that's a very common fear right now. I think digital marketing jobs typically have just enough strategy, creativity, and ingenuity that makes them really hard to replace, and marketing will always be needed in every business going forward. It's never going away. And it's going to be primarily digital marketing going forward. So we can have a lot of confidence that, hey, maybe things get dry during a season, perhaps, like we heard before, but ultimately, compared to other industries, there is opportunities available. I like to say there's no income ceiling as a digital marketer. Of course, we can't say infinite, but the second you trade in that job mentality for going for more of a business, you are removing some sort of glass ceiling on your money. You no longer trading time for money. That's just not a long-term plan. You have to become an owner of some elements of your process, your work, your assets. And I think becoming a digital marketer does that in many different ways. As a freelancer, I would be focusing on raising my rates all the time. I would be doing it aggressively. And the way I would do that would be by constantly improving my skills and experience and valuing that. As a consultant, now you can get into big projects that are value based price. Let's say you work with a client in your country and they're doing $100,000, and you think you can get them to 150, per month, let's say, right? And so that's like a $50,000 a month increase. That's 600,000 a year. Don't you think they'd be willing to pay 60 to $120,000 to achieve this? And that's what's happening in business. And I think the digital marketing consultant needs to be someone who gets a really powerful strategic procedure, who can always systematically find answers for clients and find opportunities. And that's where you're going to get bigger contracts. But not everyone has to be a consultant, although I do think everyone who sticks around me long enough can be. But ultimately, you can potentially own a business and another brand that's unrelated to marketing, and you could be great at marketing that brand. And that can open up a whole new world. Who's to say what that does? And that's the thing, is digital marketing is not just a career choice. It's not just a course to learn. It has this lifelong element that just supports so many of the things you want to do. And so you get this option as a marketer, as a freelancer, for tremendous lifestyle balance. It's an option, right? I don't care about lifestyle balance. I don't think about it, but if I want it, I can have it. Okay. And I think when you're able to earn more and keep that remote lifestyle, man, talk about opportunities coming your way. You have a lot of power, a lot of flexibility. I think what happens is then you start managing your life and designing your life from a new perspective. It's not this limited point of view. It's not this accepting and tolerating. It's this creating and manifesting and developing sort of a mindset. When you can run your business from that laptop and that internet connection, you're always in a powerful position in terms of maintaining a healthy lifestyle balance. Just put the laptop down and take a nap or meditate or make a smoothie or whatever it is you need to do to feel good. I think that you're not stuck in the office. You're not trapped in machinery. You're not locked in. You're always able to get the intensity level of your workload. And I think that's powerful. What if you want to go harder? You can, right? I didn't go too deep into this article about Ikigai, but it's the truth that when you're in your Ikigai, which I think a lot of digital marketers will naturally find, working hard isn't what you really think it is. It's actually so fulfilling when you're investing into your own business and developing those kinds of real or digital assets in your interests, in your passions, in your worlds. That's a superpower to figure that out and align with that. And that's just not going to be the case for a lot of careers. Okay. Like, you can't go in accounting and then unlock business insights and unlock opportunities because it's solved. Everyone accounts the same way. There's no strategy left. There's no opportunity left. Okay. So we have to see that this is a unique industry that we're choosing. I think that people need to realize how powerful it is to start a business and what that means for taxes, right? I think that you get to save a lot of money by just merely considering yourself a business, a one-person business, and you can write off things like your iPhone, your laptop, your internet bill, and a lot of other day-to-day things, because a lot of our lifestyle is now integrated with business. And I think that means that those things become write-offs. Okay. So write-offs are anything that you spend in the pursuit of income. And yeah, of course, you need your phone to make money in your business. So that's a write-off. Maybe you need an iPad and an iMac too. Okay. So I think when you get even more experienced, you can then time these sort of purchases so that you get the maximum tax benefits. Ultimately, you should get an accountant. It makes it a lot easier. But the fact is that this is a opportunity to get yourself becoming a business. Even if you have a job today, you should start your business tomorrow so that the next iPhone you buy, you can say that it's part of your business and you're trying to grow that. You're allowed to have a business with write-offs and lose money, and that will reduce your tax across the board. So unlock what owners get in terms of tax privileges by simply owning a business. There's a natural progression from freelancer to consultant that I found. Okay. So I didn't start as like a super powered consultant. I just wanted to help people make their website. And that led into everything else. And that led to experience. Okay. And that's what gives you the power. And since the digital marketing world is so vast, constantly changing, what that means is there's a lot of need for consulting because everyone's confused. You naturally will find clients in a state of confusion, uncertain of how to proceed. So the consultant can look at the funnel, the site, the ecosystem, and identify the weaknesses and help them move forward, give them confidence, save them money. Okay, so becoming a freelancer, becoming a consultant, it gives you a taste of being your own business, and it primes you to support other businesses. Okay, freelancers typically gather more varied experience than their in-house counterparts. Okay, so this gives you a lot of knowledge transfer for your future consulting clients. And why I don't say get a niche early on is because you need to try different things and see what else is out there. If you feel like a specialist, go for it. But sometimes you need to taste, you need to try. So ultimately, all those benefits of what makes it a good career, I've come to the conclusion that this digital marketing skill set is the number one unlock to life. And I've said that before. Okay. Being great at digital marketing means more attention to everything you do. Being great at digital marketing means more conversion on everything you do. Being great at digital marketing means less fear of income loss or replacement. So, what is the daily life as a professional digital marketer like? Well, a digital marketer can be doing any number of things throughout the day, and that might scare you, but that's also what makes it more high paid. You have to kind of know a lot of different areas. I often start my day reviewing the previous day's key analytics. I'll look in AdWords, I'll look at Facebook ads, I'll be tweaking budgets, bids, and copy. That's a pretty regular thing because that's one of the highest paid things you do that's very dynamic on a daily basis. You wouldn't go tweaking your main copy on your sales page every single day, but you might tweak your ads quite often. Tracking projects, now that's a regular occurrence in our business. If a freelancer needs to be able to project management, they have to be able to control a project. Okay. Get used to having an Excel or a Notion database open to stay organized. Probably find yourself working in Canva. Okay. Not Photoshop these days, more so Canva for creating image content. You might find yourself in Adobe Premiere, Descript, or Veed.io and creating video content. You might be developing web pages in WordPress or Webflow. You might be working on a client strategy on Miro or Whimsical. You might be writing more copy, setting up automation and sequences for email marketing. As you can see, there's a fair variety. There really is never a dull moment. Projects are just long enough to enjoy immersion, but not so long to really get bored. Digital marketers can work in short bursts or long durations. There's a lot of flexibility, but there's always something to do. So, what are the expected salary for a digital marketer? Really tough question. I think in the corporate world, the digital marketers, they often at that point of their career have a solid T-shaped skill set. Like they can do quite a lot of those things I mentioned, and they're really good at email, or they're really good at conversion, or they're really good at ads, you know? So I do think that bumps up the base salary. I think the base salary I found was 57,000 US dollars for a digital marketer at the base level. But if you get up to digital marketing manager, it got up to 108,000. And I was impressed by that. That's one of the higher salaries you see across the board in life. And not that it's the highest by any means, but for an average salary of a digital marketing manager, I'm enthusiastic that that's the going rate. I think that is pretty solid. But that's for the in-house roles. And we're going to look at the different career paths you can take. But first, I'll just say that freelancer income can vary wildly because some people just want to freelance on the side. So it can be as little as 10K a year, but there's nothing to stop someone from ultimately hitting one, two, three, four, $500,000 a year. It is very possible if you can maintain that social proof and credibility, that personal or business brand that's really driving some of the bigger, higher paying clients and ultimately getting results. If you can get the results, you can charge a lot. And I think that's where so many of us are still seeking that refined set of case studies or results to show people, seeking that experience. And I totally get that. There's no limit though, right? It's not just your time-based earnings. Digital marketers are going to have assets. They're going to own websites. They might have an e-commerce shop. You're going to have digital products. Okay. So it's a superpower to have all those potential income sources. You just don't see that everywhere else. So imagine, having 3 clients who pay about 5K a month, but you've also got your own funnel or affiliate income sources running in the background. You can see how it adds up and becomes substantial. It has for me. And I think it naturally transitions you into a personal brand and expert in the digital marketing space, and combine it with your natural niche interests. Going to have a bit of a brand going on, a little niche thing going on, that's going to open up more opportunities. Okay. So, what are the different career paths for digital marketing? Agency marketer, number one. Okay. Agency marketer works for the agency owner. The agency is providing marketing services for other businesses. You will be paid an hourly rate or a salary and often be overworked. Agencies are difficult to run and that thus can lack profitability. I posit maybe the remote agency is better off without those high rate rental units of those office spaces. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But the problem is that agency marketer, they're going to bear the brunt of that unfortunate reality. You're not going to be paid well. A lot of these internships I hear from people, they don't really feel too good about them, to be honest. So maybe if you want to go the job route and you love being around people, then maybe go for becoming an in-house marketer. So you're working for a business in their marketing department. And I think these jobs can be higher paid than agency roles. I think you can shine bright in the right company as a great marketing mind. You're not just looked at it as a commodity marketing skill, which I think you have to always be on guard against. Okay. So maybe become a thought leader in your company and stand out, right? This is kind of the end of the boss mode. Now you go into freelancer, okay, the freelance marketer. And so a lot of digital marketing experts, maybe they do some work on their own, maybe they get a job, but they're going to want to transition to freelancer. We hear it all the time. And they're going to want to take on the role of selling the project themselves instead of someone else doing that and therefore charging a fair bit more. This allows the freelancer to make more money as no one is obviously profiting off their work. Now, the freelancer has a lot more freedom. They can design their own schedule, but they have to be careful about how they design and run their business because you don't want to own a job. You ultimately want to own a business. So start building systems early and look to hire support so you can focus on winning more business. Okay. You can't just get satisfied with your first client. You got to keep pushing yourself. Next stage would be the marketing consultant. Okay. Once a marketer has developed and completed a substantial amount of projects, they are in the position to provide consultation to other businesses. The key is to put the client in a better position than they were before. And marketing consultants can do this with ease as there's a lot of mystery and confusion for these companies in this digital environment. So if you can merely stay up to date, continue to come to calls, talk in the Discord, handle your own projects, you will always be up to date on the digital marketing news and trends. I go over the Discord and there's 3 new tools being shared. There's a new website to find this and that. And I think that's a great leg up to always have that edge. And finally, I got listed here as the marketing agency owner. So you come the full spectrum. And now you are, if you desire to, going to scale these services. You're going to build a team. You're going to repeat yourself. So you can focus on running the business instead of doing the marketing tasks yourself. But knowing how to do everything will help you understand your offers as well as the time and cost of every project and task. Now, great. You're convinced, right? You can see the path that feels right for you, but what are you going to work on? What are you going to focus on? So here, in my opinion, and I think these are ranked pretty accordingly, are the main digital marketing skills you should focus on to be well-rounded and to achieve most goals. I want to start with search engine optimization, SEO. Okay. When the world's biggest websites are still google.com and youtube.com, and they are primarily known as search engines, you have to make this a big part of your strategy when you're marketing a modern business. You cannot just ignore it. You cannot. Okay. It is too foundational. Okay. And you cannot just leave it up to paid ads and social media. So SEO is something I always want people to be getting that grand understanding, that long-term knowledge gain. You don't have to become a dead expert today, but you have to be gaining knowledge over time, certainly. Okay. So don't worry about specializing per se. You could, but I think that it's a foundational valuable activity here in digital marketing. Okay. And I think it's because it's slow and it can be difficult that people shy away from it, but that's no excuse. So what you do is you start by looking up the Google 200, ranking factors, and you start seeing, oh, what the title is has an effect. Oh, where the keywords are placed has an effect. Oh, how old the domain is. So now you're getting all this knowledge to tell other people. And that's when you become sort of the first moment of, I get this. There's an algorithm This is what the algorithm tends to like, the behaviors, how we rank. And that's what I'm sharing with people. And that's what I'm applying to my clients. So one should be able to optimize any web page for a given keyword. Doesn't mean you will necessarily rank number one, but you should be able to go through the process of saying, I've overlooked this page and I believe this is the steps to optimize it. I've completed them. Let's see what happens. One should know the value of a backlink and how to generate them. How do you get people to link to your website? What's an anchor text? Okay. And one should know how to holistically increase a domain's authority in the eyes of Google. Okay. Understanding SEO means you can build a website today and start ranking it for keywords without any real cost of entry. There's no real excuse. Knowing this, you can generate real traffic and potential sales without cost. This is why people flock to this opportunity, because you can try it without massive upfront costs. This is why blogging was a huge industry and has evolved into ultimately just mainstream SEO, just a factor of how to do business. Once you got SEO worked out, get into media buying, learn how to run a Facebook ad and a Google ad. That would be the bare minimum for digital marketer in 2021. Those two things might sound simple, but they both have substantial learning curves. And because you're spending money to do them, you could end up wasting cash unnecessarily. So first and foremost, take the free courses available. There's Facebook Blueprint. Google has tons of videos as well for their ad product. You can just watch it all for free. You can take little mini exams. Okay, this part of the career will continually evolve as platforms shift and pricing changes due to supply and demand. Facebook has not always been the same. Google ads have been pretty consistent, but there's always new stuff. There's always new ways to get new conversions. It's always new ad products. This is going to lead you into copywriting. You're not going to be able to escape it. Naturally, if you want to be a successful advertiser or marketer, you need to learn how to write copy. You need to learn how to capture people emotionally. You need to learn how to persuade. Read Cashvertising for a quick intro on copywriting. You might also check out the Gary Halpert letters. A little bit old school, but great for the fundamentals. What is all this traffic? What are you going to do with that traffic? Now it's time to get into funnels, and I'm calling it funnel architecture. This is the act of building out web pages that link together and form a systematic process for turning cold leads into paying customers. Funnels have become more and more popular as technology has grown to serve the idea. Websites used to be very static and lack functionality, so people design them like brochures. Now people design them like a sales call. You're trying to initiate a purchase with your website. Building marketing funnels just might be the very core of the digital marketer's job. It is the central piece that brings everything together and drives the analytics. Everything I'm saying you'll have in moments. Think of your funnel as a machine. There's a ton. Think of your funnel as a machine. There's an input of traffic. There's an output of revenue, conversions. Traffic and conversions are and have always been the two major pillars of digital marketing, and the funnel is where they collide. Next, I would learn lead magnets, email, and automation. They all kind of work together. Most funnels begin by attempting to gather an email address. This is known as lead generation. If you can master lead generation, you can go very far in this industry. You have to be able to put out the right offer. This often means maybe a discounted idea like a 10% off code or free information. It depends on the business. How you package that, though, really matters and sets the tone for the rest of the customer's journey. Learning how to move people through a customer journey via email is critical. After they subscribe, you need them to buy. You need them to take action. But before they do, you need them to read your email. So there's quite an art to learn how to write emails and their subject lines, but it's an art that's more like paint by numbers. You can learn powerful frameworks and methods for having success in this area without too much creative thought. Ultimately, email is very highly automated. Combined with sending automated broadcasts, you might also trigger entire sequences or events to occur automatically, all in the back end of the system. So if you master email and automation, you're going to go a long way as a digital marketer. Content strategy. Digital marketing is becoming very content heavy these days. Without content, you might have difficulty getting your message to be heard. People don't want to be sold. They want to be moved. They want to feel something. We use content to do this. Now, content can be articles, podcasts, videos, pictures. The best thing about content marketing to do it, it's almost virtually free. It's all time-based work. You don't have to pay for those ads. So this is another reason people break out in the industry. It's because anyone who's willing to do the work can build momentum here in this part. So great content can be this huge difference maker for brands. Being a little creative can add a lot of value to your overall skill set. So don't shy away from that. Use tools like Canva, Descript. I think content is much easier than ever before, and we should all look to develop in this area continually. And content is one of those things that pays off over the long run. Finally, the last skill I'll mention is to understand the analytics part of things. Okay. So you have to be able to go into the Google Analytics dashboard and answer a question. Maybe you have it, maybe your client has it, but you need to be able to get the answer for them. So, how many people came to my website? Who were they? What was the most visited page? If you have questions, your analytics dashboard has answers. You don't go in looking for random insights and then go do something random. You always ask a question and you use analytics to answer it. So, how do I start learning digital marketing fast? Well, like anything, immersion is your friend. Get your hands on as many projects as fast as you can, and that will always lead you in a good direction. The difficulty is finding the projects you're allowed to work on. But given the time we're in, 2021, there is a lot of emerging businesses that could use your support. So start looking for people who want free help. This may not be ideal, but what other way do you have to find actual experience in the marketplace? It's that catch 22. You need the work experience to get jobs. You can't get a job without any experience. So you have to hack this part. Okay. The next move is then start your own projects. Take control back. Stop waiting for people. Can you start your own website? Can you rank your website? Can you start your own YouTube channel? Can you rank your YouTube channel? Can you build an audience on Instagram? Can you create a funnel? Can you track analytics? Can you capture emails? Can you make automated email series? Can you make Facebook ad? Can you run a retargeting ad? Can you document your process? And then can you train and hire someone to do all of that stuff? That is it. And it's possible to do it on your own. Nothing really holds you back. None of those things I mentioned cost a lot of money or startup. So you can get going in these things. Even if it's not for big money, got to try. Okay. So those are the things you try. And that's why I always believe in starting your own website, whether it's going to make a lot of money or not, it does not matter, right? It's just a vehicle in which you can immerse yourself in all of the different areas. And I think people need to realize that no one's going to find your site if you don't tell them. So you don't have to have like an irrational fear of judgment. Just get going, put something out there. It can become your portfolio. Take online courses, of course, that can help you speed up the process. There's a lot of free ones out there. You can take ours as well, and you can learn even faster. You get exactly what you need, no fluff, right? It's all about how can you get as much exposure to what digital marketing really is, to creating customers, making sales, building audiences, setting up full campaigns. You want to touch as much as you can, as soon as you can. Who will do well as a digital marketer? Problem solvers, people who like puzzles, non-perfectionists, people who don't get caught up in every detail, massive action takers, people who are willing to make mistakes, but want continued progress, presenters, people who like to entertain and capture attention, creative extroverts, people who can make stuff and get it out there, obsessive introverts, people who refuse to be left behind, and many others, because digital marketing is unusually aligned with one's ikigai or reason for being. When you're able to do what you like and expand its value through digital marketing, you have a magical combination. And I never tell people just to only offer digital marketing services. I always recommend you start your own brand, unrelated to marketing as well, and then use your new skills to grow that, because that's when you're able to go select that niche that no one in the world does. In marketing, it's hard to have that, right? There's a lot of people who do it. So it's nice to have that outside interest. Okay, so transition into this remote career with more ease. Okay, start the side hustle. Don't just jump ship from the 9 to 5 yet. Having a stable income makes the mental swings of a new business a lot easier. And that's what's great about digital marketing, is that you can just get one client to start. See if you even like it. Everyone can handle an extra 10 hours of work a week, whether that's dedicated learning or client work. Want to improve that transition, I might recommend something like an accelerator, an incubator, what we created in the pro group. It's accountability, it's focus, it keeps you on track. You need to keep momentum to get the transition complete. You cannot give up. You cannot take a long break. So you might actually want to get a coach. If you think doing something one-on-one is suiting you better, I totally get that. And I think that can be a powerful investment for the right person. Many of us have very little support in our lives to chase our dreams and aspirations. So it's nice to have someone who's rooting for you to become your best version. Even if they don't truly deep down care about you, they're caring for you. And like that can be enough. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't need them to love you and hold you, but to know that like I'm going to get the reverberation of this is what I want and I can do this. That's very powerful. Do you need a degree in marketing? I just think digital marketing moves too fast for institutions to keep up with. So I kind of forget about degrees when it comes to marketing. It might be good to have a well-rounded like communications degree or a media degree, something that can stack, but not necessarily in marketing per se, right? Do you want to learn from a teacher in a university or someone who's actually marketing and then like connecting with you through actual digital means? So I think if you need more education, you're better off going with the online YouTube school, our programs. And I think then you can take it at your own pace, part-time if you want, or blast through them. Like, why be stuck to other people's curriculums and timeframes? Okay. I've worked with dozens of marketers now via our agency and other means, and I've never once looked at a resume, degree, or certification. I look at attitude, portfolio, and case studies if available. So in conclusion, I ask, are you ready for a career in digital marketing? Now that you know how to become a digital marketer, the question is, will you ultimately take action? So you should try to make the next 6 months your best 6 months ever. And you can wake up next year with an entirely new lifestyle and mindset. You could be working remotely by then. You could be making more money than your current job on your own. You could be starting a YouTube channel, maybe your own agency. Could be you, but you're going to have to put in the work.